Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Living in Colorado Springs and I am Alicia Armendariz. Today I'm not going to be highlighting neighborhoods so much as I am going to be talking about what does it take to win your offer here in this crazy Colorado market. I know across the board here in the US you're hearing about there's low inventory and home prices are on the rise. So I'm going to dive into specifically what does it take, what does it look like to have your offer won here in the Colorado Springs market. So if you have any questions over anything that I mentioned, or if maybe something that I talk about triggers an idea that you weren't even thinking of and you're like, man, that applies to me, I should probably dive into that more. Feel free to reach out to me. I am a licensed broker here in the state of Colorado and would love to help you with your real estate needs. Feel free to call, text, or email me, or leave a comment below and I will get back to you as soon as I can. And while you're at it, hit that subscribe button and bell to get notified when I make new videos each week on everything that is living in Colorado Springs. So without further ado, let's get into it. So to begin, I just want to mention there are a ton of tricks and tips and things that you can do that you can research and you're going to find as to how to win your offer in a market. But what I'm going to speak to today is how myself and my team, how we go about getting our offers accepted, how we do the buying process with our buyers and win homes in this market. So this may not be the way that every agent does things. I know it's not how they do things, but it has definitely been a proven method for myself and my team and to why we can get as many buyers into homes as we do. So with that being said, when I first meet a client or my team meets a client, we like to start off with a buyer presentation. And that more so is just finding out about you and your family or just what your wants and needs are out of the home buying process. You know, we would like to know, what are you looking for? What do you need? Do you need 10 bedrooms because you got like 10 kiddos? Do you need a large backyard because you love dogs or just entertaining in a backyard setting? What is it that you need out of a home? What are you wanting out of a home? And then how much buying power do you have as a buyer? And things that play into your buying power are, do you have money for a down payment? Do you have money for appraisal gaps? If so, you know, which one is more important in this process with your own financial needs and the price point that you are looking at? Where does that cash play a bigger role? Maybe it's with the down payment, maybe it is with that appraisal gap. So just understanding your financial needs, your own buying power, and asking yourself those questions. What do I need? What do I want out of a home? And that way, when we kind of get into the actual going out and looking at homes, or you're looking at your home search in those emails, you're not getting overwhelmed. You're not kind of with thoughts here and there all over the place. We're staying focused, we're staying zoned in, and we're staying on course so that we don't get burnt out and that we're not just throwing money at homes. So now that you and I have had that buyer presentation, I have a better understanding of what you want and you need out of that home and can put you on a home search that is going to hopefully not waste your time and keep you zoned in, like I said, on exactly properties that are worth putting an offer in on. At the same time though, the number 2 point that I want to make is super important is your lender, who you work with as a lender. I know a lot of people, especially here in Colorado Springs because it's military, they like the big banks, or it's easier to work with Navy Federal Credit Union. Nothing against them, but I do just want to point out the bigger banks usually have people that are not licensed to do mortgage. They just happen to work at a bank, and they usually work bank hours, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, what have you. When you actually work with a local lender, when you work with a preferred lender of mine, or just, like I said, more so a local lender, that lender, that's their livelihood. That is their career, just like that's my career. Like they are answering their phones for the most part on the weekends, late at night, early in the morning. And more so the lenders that I work with. I can contest to the lenders that I work with personally. I work with them because I know that they are going to make those important phone calls. I know they're going to talk options with the buyers and how to kind of maneuver the money that they have or play with payment amounts and just ultimately take what the buyer feels is comfortable paying monthly payment, and then also just talking to them about what it's going to take to get into a home here also. So that teamwork between myself and my preferred lenders, or just even a local lender, is going to be a lot more thorough and accurate than buyers who work with out-of-state lenders or national lenders. I like and prefer using a local lender, if not my preferred lender. They know how I like to do business. I know how they like to do business. I know that when we submit an offer, they're going to make that phone call to that listing agent to truly verify where your funds are coming from. How much are you qualified for? And when things are going over list price and there's, money in the contract as appraisal gap amount is X amount of dollars, that listing agent's going to be asking that lender, well, where does that come from? Can you verify that for me? Yes, hopefully your lender is going to be able to tell them that's a gift from a parent, that's coming from a 401k, that's coming from a savings, things of that sort. You're really going to need a lender who can vouch for you on that contract and who is, not going to wait till the next morning after you submit an offer to call that listing agent. When people are out looking at homes on a weekend, on a Saturday and Sunday, and we're submitting offers, I need that listing agent to be able to either get a hold of my lender, or even better, my lender already knows. They know the address we're putting an offer on, and they're already prepared to make that phone call to that listing agent, letting them know, hey, buyer A and B or family of the Smiths, this is what they're qualified for, this is their buying power, this is where their funds are coming from, and I can vouch for that. Versus a national big bank lender might not be able to make that phone call till Monday morning, and by then, that listing agent has already convinced the sellers to take an offer and move forward. So I would hate for you guys to miss out on an opportunity or just miss out on a home because your lender only works 9 to 5 or can't be reached on the weekends and so on. So just picking that lender, having that lender and realtor relationship as a team is very important. So not to go into too much detail with the appraisal gap coverage plan, but that plan should include where is that extra money coming from? How much are you comfortable with as a buyer to put over list price? And not always is that home going to need that total amount of appraisal gap. I mean, if you put in $50,000 of gap coverage that you're willing to bring to the table, not always are you going to need it. A lot of homes now are appraising a little bit higher than list price just naturally because of previous sold homes. But in the rare occasion that the appraisal does come in low, we're not just putting out a random number. You truly have cash that is going to support your offer that you submitted, and it can be verified. People know where it's coming from. That listing agent can verify with that lender that you truly have it. We're not just, again, throwing money at a home. We want to make a very responsible but yet strong offer that you are comfortable with. So again, that plan can get more in detail, obviously, from every individual. That's something, like I said, we go over in a buyer presentation that is tailored to you. But just understanding the appraisal gap is not just throwing money over list price. There is a plan, there is a way of maneuvering the money, putting it here or there that still keeps you comfortable with your offer, comfortable with your monthly payment, and able to win. And I know a lot of people are hearing that other areas of the US are just waiving inspections and they're just buying houses unseen. That's not our plan. We're not going to be doing that here. I personally don't recommend anyone ever just waive an inspection. If you truly, truly want the home and you don't want to ask the sellers to address any inspection items that come up, that's on you. That's fine. If you feel that's going to put your offer more ahead of others, we could do that. But I still recommend, even if you don't want to ask the sellers for any inspection items to be addressed, I still recommend that you get an inspection done. Just for your knowledge, just so that you know, okay, you know what, we didn't ask the sellers for anything, we didn't say we were going to object to anything, but I still have this report in my hand, and now I know moving forward, if there's anything wrong, I'm comfortable addressing it down the road. So, like I said, even if you personally feel waiving an inspection objection is going to win you the home, or you're pretty handy yourself and you know you can figure it out down the road, that's fine, that's cool, I'm okay with that. But I still am never going to recommend that we're just waiving inspections in general. We're going to get an inspection done, just for your knowledge and just to cover my butt and your butt too, in case something does pop up down the road. And last that I'm gonna say, if you haven't already got the hint, the best way to have your offer won in this market is to just have the best team around you. And that means lender and realtor. You really just want people who know the market. You want people who kind of live and breathe this market. They're not part-timers. They don't do this on the side. They don't work just Monday through Friday when the rest of real estate is really happening on the weekend. You want a team who lives and breathes it, and you want a team just as invested as you. This is one of the biggest purchases you're ever gonna make, if not the biggest in your life. And so you really want a team around you who cares, who's committed, and to also committed into helping you understand the process. The more that you can be aware of what to expect is going to minimize frustrations or surprises down the road. And I feel like that those managing expectations make the process that much more smoother, and that way we're not ever surprised by something, hopefully. And we, people usually tend to be emotional and then spend more time than needed in that emotional state, complaining or worrying about something. But from that buyer presentation, hopefully you get all the info that you need to be what to expect, what we're gonna do about it, and what's the game plan from there. So ultimately, your lender also, my preferred lender, is going to have that same mindset. And if we ever do have a hiccup or some issues that pop up, believe me, we're gonna have a game plan. We're gonna talk about that game plan before, and those issues aren't gonna be such a shocker if they do happen. So if you guys do have any questions over anything that I mentioned today, please feel free to reach out to me. Like I said, more than anything, a lot of this stuff is tailored to each individual differently. So don't just think that like, oh, I'm gonna go to anybody and have my offer won. There is a particular way that myself and my team like to do things to get that offer accepted. So feel free to reach out, hit that subscribe button and bell if you haven't already. And until next time, I'll see you guys later.